Days after the attack on the UAE's nuclear plant, Iran is now signaling a bold new move by appearing to extend its claimed maritime border in the Strait of Hormuz closer to UAE waters, raising fears of a fresh flashpoint in an already volatile Gulf. Iran's newly announced Hormuz Strait Authority has laid out how much of the crucial waterway it intends to bring under its jurisdiction, revealing detailed plans for tighter control over shipping lanes that carry a significant share of the world's energy supplies. This development comes as a major shock for the United States and key Arab states, as Iran moves to expand its boundaries in the Strait of Hormuz at a time of ongoing war and regional instability, potentially giving Tehran unprecedented leverage over global oil flows. Iran on May 20th revealed the exact extent of its controlled maritime zone in the Strait of Hormuz, publicly indicating how far its authority and enforcement will stretch across one of the world's most critical energy choke points. Tehran's new Persian Gulf Strait Authority announced this move on X, using the social media platform to formally introduce its mandate and signal to the international community that it will play a central role in overseeing navigation through the waterway. The Persian Gulf Strait Authority said, and I quote, "Zone is the line connecting Mount Mubarak in Iran and southern Fujairah in the United Arab Emirates on the eastern side of the strait, extending to the line connecting the end of Keshem Island in Iran and Umm al-Quwain in the United Arab Emirates on the western side of the strait. Movement within this area for passage through the Strait of Hormuz requires coordination and obtaining a permit from this body." Unquote. Iran had effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz following US-Israel strikes on February 28, disrupting normal shipping patterns and demonstrating its ability to choke off vital oil and gas routes in response to military pressure. Beyond Iran's closure of parts of the strait, the United States imposed its own naval blockade in the area, a step that Tehran has condemned as illegal and as a blatant violation of its sovereignty and established maritime norms. Iran created the Persian Gulf Strait Authority to formally regulate and oversee traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, centralizing control in a new body designed to manage shipping, security, and compliance with Iranian directives. The PGSA said its account would provide real-time updates on operations in the waterway, turning it into an official channel for alerts, instructions, and situational reports aimed at both domestic and international maritime audiences. Ships intending to cross the Strait of Hormuz will receive electronic notifications outlining applicable rules, procedures, and safety requirements, ensuring that all vessels are clearly informed of Iran's regulations before they enter its declared control zone. May 17th, multiple reports said that massive explosions were heard in the United Arab Emirates capital, Abu Dhabi. According to initial information, no casualties were reported, and the exact cause of the explosions has not yet been determined. Al Jazeera reported that a drone attack near the Baraka nuclear power plant ignited a fire in its vicinity, raising immediate security concerns. The drones reportedly targeted the electrical generator at the Baraka nuclear power plant in the Al Dhafar region of Abu Dhabi. Despite the incident, reports stated that the plant continues to operate normally and that radiological safety levels have not been affected. A Dubai-based journalist has explained why the Baraka nuclear power plant is seen as strategically and symbolically vital for the UAE. Al Jazeera spoke to journalist Natasha Turak after the reported drone attack on the Baraka nuclear power plant. Turak described the facility as a crowning achievement for the UAE, underscoring its national importance, according to Al Jazeera. Natasha Turak said, and I quote, "It is the first and only nuclear power plant in the Arab world. Built in partnership with South Korea for $20 billion, the plant began full commercial operation in 2021 and supplies about 25% of the UAE's electricity. The Baraka plant also plays a key role in the UAE's climate and net zero goals by 2050. The UAE operates the plant with help from the US, with which it has an agreement to import nuclear fuel rather than developing its own ability to enrich and reprocess uranium. It's really been upheld as an example for the world on how to develop a safe and peaceful nuclear energy program." Unquote. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, which reportedly caused a fire at an electric generator. Emirati officials said there was no danger to the public and no radioactive leak following the incident. Hormuz is currently seeing a dual blockade by both US and Iranian naval forces, adding to concerns over shipping security in the region. The Strait of Hormuz, located off the coast of Iran, is a vital waterway in the Middle East and one of the most closely watched sea lanes in the world. The Hormuz Strait is considered a critical choke point and is approximately 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point, making it both strategically important and highly vulnerable. At around 20 million barrels per day, Hormuz handled about 1/5 of global oil consumption before the war, underscoring its huge importance to energy flows. The strait also handled roughly 20% to 25% of the world's LNG, much of which originated from Qatar and moved through the passage to global markets. More than 80% of the oil passing through the Hormuz Strait was destined for Asian markets, showing how heavily the region depends on this route. Amid a global energy shock and a sharp increase in oil prices, the question now is whether President Trump will seek to open or champion another major maritime waterway, potentially redrawing sea routes to secure supplies and project American power even more aggressively. Shipping Monitor Tanker Trackers has posted a proposal suggesting there could be an alternative route to the Strait of Hormuz, offering a possible bypass if the main passage becomes disrupted. Tanker Trackers said that Oman could, in theory, create an alternative maritime passage that would allow ships to avoid the Strait of Hormuz altogether. On May 11th, Tanker Trackers shared maps showing a very narrow section of Oman's Musandam Peninsula, highlighting the geography that makes the idea technically interesting. The Shipping Monitor said a channel could potentially be opened through the rocky land bridge at Maksa, creating a new route for vessels to move through. Tanker Trackers added that the channel could be made deep enough for large vessels to pass through, making the concept more significant for commercial shipping. On X, Tanker Trackers said, quote, "Please don't take this seriously because Oman won't, but there's a narrow passage in Musandam which in theory could be opened up to allow up to 25 meters draft depth for vessels to navigate through. The rocky land bridge at Maksa is only 228 m wide. Suez Canal is 193 kilometers long." Unquote. Tanker Trackers compared the hypothetical project to the Suez Canal, drawing a parallel with one of the world's most famous and strategically important shipping routes. The Suez Canal is considered one of the most important waterways in the world because of the central role it plays in global trade and maritime movement. According to Wired, the original cost of building the Suez Canal was $100 million, which would be around $1.5 billion in today's money. The Suez Canal provides the shortest sea route between Europe and Asia, making it a vital shortcut for international shipping. The canal links the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea through Egypt, forming a crucial passage between two major bodies of water. The Suez Canal helps reduce sailing distance, time, and fuel costs for ships, which is why it remains so important to global commerce.